What's up, y'all? I'm Asia.
I'm Stacy.
And today, y'all, we got a request. We got the Little Mermaid cast on Pep Talks with Beyoncé, Halle's voice, and the power of representation. Let's get into it.
And I'd like to welcome you all to the first interview with the cast from Disney's The Little Mermaid. Hello,
I love me
everyone.
some Melissa McCarthy.
Halle, I have to start with you because you are playing and singing Ariel in Disney's The Little Mermaid, joined by an all-star cast of Emmy, Tony, Oscar winners, Grammy winners, directed by Rob Marshall. Tell me what it was like when he called you and told you that that dream was coming true.
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, I'm just so grateful to be in the midst of these wonderful human beings who, during the filming process, was just amazing people to be around. It's really a dream come true. Rob Marshall is the best. When he called me, I didn't believe it. He was like, Ariel? This is how he told me. Because when I answered the phone, he goes, is this Ariel? Am I speaking to Ariel? And I'm like, what? So it's
What's weird is he said that to me
Did
too.
he? See? Of course he would. That's such a like Rob thing to do.
So he was like, Ursula?
No.
It was amazing. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's just weird. The whole thing is weird and amazing and yeah.
I would see him actually doing that as well, because I've interviewed him for Mary Poppins and other things. I mean, this is the guy that did Chicago. This is Rob Marshall.
Chicago was a good movie.
Everything. And Melissa, I do have to feel when you joined the cast, it was probably kindred spirits, because I feel like everything Rob does
I
is
cannot
theatrical.
wait.
Listen,
But
they picked the right person to play Ursula. They picked the right person.
Yes, she fits it so well.
Nobody could have played that part better.
I can't see anybody else playing.
Wasn't it low-key rumored that it was supposed to be like Queen Latifah or something?
Baby, get out my head, because I was just gonna backtrack and be like, the only other person that I could have seen playing that role is Queen Latifah.
But at the same time,
she is perfect.
She's perfect. Is perfect.
Like just seeing her in costume and stuff is like, yes, that was a very, very good decision.
And then I think like in the cartoon, Ursula is kind of like a witty, smart aleck type of thing. Yeah. And she gives off I just love Melissa McCarthy. So just whatever.
Yep. I love it.
To feel it was also emotional. Like as she was talking, I was listening to Halle tear up, and I was thinking, she just does that. I heard just her singing voice. Like it had you tearing up.
And I really had to. It was the first day. And the first time that you were just kind of marking the spot, Rob was like, will you just sing a little bit of it so Melissa knows when it comes on? And then I started crying day one. So I'm like, I'm cool. I cry a lot when people sing, but it did. And then once they played it, like her recorded one through the thing, we were all crying. And I thought, this is going to be difficult to get through. It's just, it really is, there's something so beautiful about it. And you've made it so your own, and it was every moment of that in the Rob Marshall magical world is pretty dreamy.
I mean, it really is. Looking at this cast, like I'm just happy to be here, like filling out this loveliness on here. I can't imagine what it's gonna look like to see you guys in this new technology. But Awkwafina, I have to ask you. I feel like this was like a fan campaign that came to life, like legit. You really wanted Scuttle.
That was led by me.
Yeah. But legitimately, I know that you've made it very well known how you.
Why does she say Awkwafina?
I don't know. Is that girl name? I don't want to say that girl like
Surely her name ain't Awkwafina.
Her name ain't. What's her name, y'all? The name popped up.
It was there somewhere.
Oh, it's too small. Okay, we had 306. What her name is?
I'm so sorry.
I was not laughing at that. I was laughing at the fact that we both paused when we read it. You started laughing first.
It's the awkwardness because
I just want to clear up what I was laughing at.
Because I said, and this would make it so worse, is that I said surely her name ain't Awkwafina.
And I was laughing at how we both just paused. I wasn't laughing at the girl name.
I'm definitely not laughing at the name.
Yes, you was.
I'm not laughing at. I'm laughing at the fact that it actually was like I was not thinking that would be her name.
That would actually be it.
Not only is your mama black?
Very well known how you feel about Scuttle, and you were very, very vocal about that early on.
Scuttle
But yeah,
is the
talk
bird.
about this, because again, I don't think that was to that joke the first thought that most people would have, but now I can't see anybody else.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, no, I truly take that as a compliment.
Yeah, you made it your own. Is what I'm saying. You made it your own.
I need to know what else she played in.
That obviously, like, about Scuttle that I really identify with. Love Scuttle, and to be a part of like this cast as Scuttle is yes, it's very intense.
Was he your favorite character? At this, we'd read that he was like literally like childhood, like from the first thing, because most girls are going for Ariel. So again,
no, I'm going for Scuttle. Like that's it. But as I'm watching The Little Mermaid growing up, I'm like Scuttle is everything. Definitely was one of my favorite characters. I loved Buddy Hackett's performance in the original. So
tickets
when,
on sale.
We got that call and we got the Ariel. It was like I really couldn't believe it. But.
I want you to just keep redoing Buddy Hackett roles.
I would love
that would mean the world to me personally.
Yeah,
it's very niche, but you can do it.
So yeah.
I love
Make your dreams.
Live your dreams. David, I will have to say, both with you, Awkwafina, I think everyone's kind of part of the Disney family, but again, it seems like they're giving y'all extra innings very quickly between Shang-Chi and then also with Soul, like you're doing the Pixar, moving on to this. But in this one, you also bring some Hamilton connections as well, because you get to play Sebastian with the man who named his kid after the character. That's probably a nice little Hamilton reunion.
I mean, working with Lynn is always the best because there's like a really solid shorthand right now, you know? Like he'll bring a song in and be like, you do the thing where, yeah, and then it's like, yes, so then I'm gonna, all right, cool, and then we just do it. 'Cause it's been a lot of years now of making silly rap songs together, so that's kind of the...
A little more than silly, just winning ponies.
What have you guys done together?
It opened in New York.
I never heard of it.
Off.
But Halle, there's some incredible collaborators with this entire sort of thing. I mean, we have Alan Menke returning to do the score and then add more, and all bringing Lynn with it, obviously Rob Marshall. But just the reality of how you guys are doing this is something that they haven't really talked about either. So can you at least like take us into the part of your world a little bit? Like, how was this adaptation done? Like, was it
behind the scenes,
all voice? Like, how did you sort of blend the two?
Yeah, well, musically, because I'm a musician first, so Alan Menken being in the midst of him and just this beautiful score of this film was like just amazing for me. Getting to sing these songs that we've all known since I was, little is crazy. And then just kind of getting to make Ariel mine in a way is really a beautiful thing. I was stunned that they were able to take me, half of me, and the rest CGI and like show the real me and who I am. And weave it into this kind of just fantasy world of just beauty and adventure. And it was interesting when filming because half of the time, I mean, Awkwafina and David, they did their voice recordings before I did my filming. So when I heard, so when I was acting,
with the puppeteers,
when I was acting, I would be
Yeah,
acting
wow.
with the puppet.
Oh my God.
So it would be me on a blue screen on this huge stage by myself, a whole big camera crew, and I would hear them in my ears, but like the little puppeteers would be acting with me. And so your voices became so comforting to me because you're my only friends.
I was
So,
begging Rob
yeah.
to come back. I was like, bring me back, man. I want to just stand behind the puppet. Let me just be. Just because I wanted to watch you work some more, Rob.
Yeah.
Just like, bring
So
me back.
it was a really beautiful experience, but it was cool because they became like my home in my ears. And then when Melissa came, I was like, oh my God, thank God.
Well, Melissa, I do have to say too, talking about Rob Marshall, I mean, he's an award-winning choreographer, and so much of what Ursula does is movement. I mean, talk about him. I mean, also, let's be honest, everybody wants to sing your big villain number.
I mean,
And to get that sort of like, I think, vocal performance with the choreography, it didn't mean he didn't make you do it as you were performing it on live. I know, yeah.
For sure. And that, I mean, it's my fantasy world in my head. I'm a singer and a dancer, and I love being around dancers. I love that whole world so much. And so just getting to pretend and immerse myself in that, it's just so funny because dancers just dance. Like when they're talking to you, they're like, the thing when you do the thing? And everybody watching as I'm doing it dancers can't not mark your moves. So I'm looking out, and John's doing the move, and Rob's doing the moves, and sometimes John just throws himself down on the ground. He's like, "Can you do a roll like this?" And I'm like, he's just rolling around on the ground. It's fantastic, and to be able to do that song, and it's like the broad that lives inside
cannot
of me.
wait
I
to
was
see
like,
this movie.
she's Ursula.
Oh.
So like getting to be her was just like, it was delicious.
You definitely like get to live in your Aunt Mame realness for it. Like that is like
Oh
so
my
great.
God.
But the orchestra, you also had the live orchestra, both of you. Like that, I think adds a completely different depth to it. So talk about that part of it. If you
The
can.
orchestra sounds
this
amazing.
Is her, I mean, not to,
On part of your word, of course, because we haven't
Right.
heard anything else. But that reaction to be up soon.
Can you imagine if I only make like bad puns? This is her world. I meant that literally, not as a pun. But this is such new territory, and I was back in this tiny room, and nobody could see me, and the orchestra was out, and they were so impressive. It's just wild to watch that many beautiful musicians just like do their thing. And Rob came and got me, and he was like, "I want you to come sing with the orchestra. I want you to stand in the room and feel what that feels like." And I was like, no, because they're gonna know. They're gonna know, and I shouldn't do that, and I don't want to disrupt them. And he's like, if you may never feel it again, you have to experience once. And it really was. It was one of the most magical things I've ever gotten to do. And he was right, as he always is, that like the feeling of those instruments and being in that room, I was just like, this is something I will cherish forever.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, David and I in the booth, that came for I love
Fire
that.
in the booth.
I will also say too, Aquafina, I want to give you this because as we talk about the music, I don't want you to feel left out with Scuttle because he does have a musical moment, I think. Hopefully if we get to see that sort of revisited, but these guys have like showstoppers. So I want to ask you this though, what's your Disney showstopper? Like, because I do feel like from now on, anytime you go to a karaoke bar, they're gonna hand each one of you the mic.
Oh, yeah.
To kind of like do the thing. So like Aquafina, I want to give you your hand the mic moment.
Okay. My Disney showstopper.
Yes.
Like, okay, all right.
This is your Disney song. Like,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
that
okay.
you go
I have
karaoke style.
Heart of Your World, definitely. It's
Yes.
a banger. Let's be honest. And then I really like The Colors of the Wind.
Yeah.
Love it.
I could dig
Yeah,
on
that's a
that
good
one
one.
too.
Yeah.
Okay, besides the one that you have, if you could pick another to be like Disney showstopper, like a go-to karaoke song for you. Again, you're gonna be singing yours a lot, so I'll give you like an alternate, David, if you want one.
Well, I don't, I'm not really qualified to hit many of the showstoppers, I don't think, but I'm a big fan of like Everybody Wants to Be a Cat. Like I like all the, apocryphal Disney movies are kind of my one. So Aristocats is actually my favorite.
Aristocats. I used to love that. Wait a minute, that movie
I
came out
want
in
to make sure I give you
1970.
both the opportunity before I'm hoping that this last part doesn't make us cry too much, and I want to get some giggles in first. So.
What'd you say?
I just did not know Aristocats came out in 1970. I remember that movie. I was born in '89, so I don't.
Old as hell.
Yeah.
Remember Grandma?
I
She just really takes it down.
know. Well, I'm basically trying to hype myself up so I don't start crying because we're going to talk about Beyonce, and that's an emotional moment. So what's your Disney song, though, if it wasn't Poor Unfortunate Souls?
I would, if I could, I would love to do a dead-on thing of Snow White when she's like, that whole thing.
Again, I'm going to go, I kind of teased it a bit because
funny.
you now join the Disney Princess Pantheon, and there's some very illustrious people you get to join. You get to join people like Anika Noni Rose. You get to join people like, Vanessa Williams sang a song for Disney Princess. But I think all of us, when we got to see Beyonce as Nala in The Lion King, were like, now Beyonce's a Disney Princess too. And you actually had the benefit of maybe being able to text someone after you got the part to be like, just so you know, I'm gonna be Ariel. I'm just curious, did she give you any advice joining in the Disney? Because she also has experience with this entire process.
Yeah. So she is just such an amazing, genuine human being. And I remember when I first got the role, she's so proud of me, super excited, but she's like all about me just taking a stand for myself and speaking up for myself and not being afraid. And I'm like, I grew up in a big family. I'm the baby of the girls, so I'm always like shy and a bit timid. Sometimes it's harder for me to speak up. So she's like, "No, you can do this. You go in there. You be strong." And
Why do I hear Beyonce
she's
saying
just
that?
wonderful,
Yep.
so.
I love that so much. And I do love it. We had a great interview with you at D23 where you talked about the fact that you singing a part of your world felt like a healing moment for you, like healing your inner child. And I just want you to expand on that because I thought that was such a powerful way to put it, that you wished you'd been able to see this representation back then.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important because Little Mermaid was my favorite movie when I was little. Me and my sister, every time we'd go in the pool, we'd just pretend we're mermaids, we'd swim. And, when I first saw the script and was going to audition, I just thought to myself, there's no way I'm going to be cast because the version of me that I have of Ariel is the one that we all have of her when she's younger and, her red hair, her pale skin. I'm like, that's Ariel. It's not me.
Yeah.
So getting to take on this new role and kind of make her mine in a way is really special. And seeing all of the beautiful Black and brown babies' reactions just makes me cry and sob because I feel for my little girl inside. And it just makes me emotional. But it's really exciting and, just a blessing. I don't know if that answered it, but
That answers it, and it also got the Misties going, which is exact. See, I told you.
No.
I knew it. David, I definitely want to talk to you specifically about Sebastian because again, he's the
Hello,
he's the director.
Sebastian.
He gets the bops in a lot of the ways, but I think you said that despite the familiarity with Lynn, this was the hardest role you've had to do, which is saying a lot because you do like a lot of verbal exercises in Hamilton that I would think is really hard. I don't know how this was gonna be harder.
No, I don't really sing like that, but also like there's just a there's a weight to this role. You know what I'm saying? This little crab carries a lot of weight in my memory. He looms so large. And so I did more work for this than anything I've ever done. I'm not like a research guy, and I was in Jamaica and in Trinidad and like talking to Calypsonians and just like really trying to immerse myself in like, whoa, which island is Sebastian from? Like, what sort of training did he have? Where did he go to school? If he's like,
Yeah.
British educated and came back, what does that mean? Like, and how does that affect his voice? Obviously, because we're just doing voices and stuff. So, but I don't know. It was so much fun because that is a big part. We don't like really understand it as a
Hearing his voice, I can't wait to hear what Sebastian sounds like.
Like
And
certain
same with
Aquafina.
yeah.
Like when he says certain stuff, I hear Sebastian the crab. I hear his like voice, and so I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait because Sebastian does have a little bop song now, and I can't wait to hear how that sounds.
His song had you bopping.
Yeah,
Ursula's too though.
Yeah, I can't.
I
wait
love
to hear,
Ursula's song.
I can't wait to hear. That's the crazy thing because I remember when I watched Little Mermaid as a child, like it was something about Ursula that I liked. Like maybe because obviously she was a squid or octopus or whatever the heck she was. She was like her movement was just so swift and
like she meant business.
something, and it was just like I like her.
Yep.
So
Snappy.
part of how human beings like interact. Like your voice is so integral to who you are.
Yeah.
And so actually focusing all of my energy just on that, not having to worry about, okay, what am I doing with my hands? Like, was exciting and really fun. But then also all of a sudden I was like, oh no, I've opened this Pandora's box. Like this is an endless rabbit hole. And yeah, so it was fun, but it was a lot of work.
If you had to choose between Kiss the Girl or Under the Sea, which one was the one where you worked the hardest between those two songs?
Probably Under the Sea, but only just because like I kept wanting to do it again. There's just like so many. The lyrics in both of those songs are amazing, but like potential options in Under the Sea are crazy. And then also I had to record Under the Sea with Halle doing her like improvs along with it, which were just like shattering my whole, you know what I'm saying? I'm over here like messing around, or I'm like real focused, and then she comes in, like just some run like out of nowhere, and I was just like, whoa, why would anyone listen to this? I don't know why.
I just like take the headphones off. Get out of
We
there.
never saw her again.
I know. I mean, again, your voice is very intimidating. We saw the trailer. Everybody knew.
You
but
guys, step.
in the best way possible. In the best way possible. But there's another presence that we didn't talk about that's not here that is also intimidating. Javier.
I mean,
I just give me a quick, if you can, what's it like to call that daddy? And like the way you're supposed to.
Dad. I thought she was gonna say dad.
I'm just talking
But
nonsense.
yeah, just tell us about that. And you can keep it how you want to, but we're going to have a different picture.
No, Javier was so amazing. I had been a fan of him for so long, just like I have of these beautiful souls. And literally, I did not expect him to be like as kind as he was. I expected like a macho man, like, you know.
What did he play
and
in
is,
before
but
this?
He's so like a
Because maybe
teddy
that will
bear
make sense.
inside.
Yeah.
So it
what
was
she's
really
saying.
amazing getting
God
to know
darn
him
it, microphone.
and just having him be this father figure. It was cool because I got to compare him to my real father is very overprotective and very King Triton-like. So I just felt like I was playing off of my own experience with my dad.
Kind of scary scenes, I will say that.
Yeah.
I hope folks can tune in on that because that, yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
can I tell a story right quick? I happened to be there at the day that Javier was doing his camera test, and we had just finished rehearsal, and I don't know how y'all's camera tests were, but his were him getting full dressed up in his full regalia, and then them telling him to hold his breath and just dunking him underwater, and then like zooming a camera in and out around him, and so like, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching him be like dipped in this tank of water, and I'm looking at the screen, and the camera's just like slowly panning around his face, and I turned around and I was like, I would watch this for 3.5 hours.
Yes.
Like, wait, this is the most interesting thing I've ever seen in my. It was so, like, amazing. Just the power in that man's face. It was like.
I know what you mean because before we would start, first of all, any movie that lets me have Javier as my brother, I'm like, like let's do more. But just watching him, and he leads with such kindness, but watching him, there's a reason who he is who he is. Before we were even going, I would find myself being like, hey, stop staring at him. It's getting creepy because I was just like, he's fascinating.
Yeah.
He's fascinating. What is he thinking? He just kind of exudes this, he's like so tethered to the earth. But I was doing the same thing where I really had to be like, cut it out.
Yeah.
It's getting weird.
Thank you all very much. I want to remind all of you that tickets for Disney's The Little Mermaid are on sale now.
On sale. Oh my God. If I could explain how I feel waiting on this movie, it would be like that's how I feel on the inside. Cause it's just like
See, I have to figure out what did David and Aquafina and Javier play in
before.
because they say it's an all-star cast. Obviously I know Melissa McCarthy and Halle. I don't know the rest of them. Like maybe I do, but I don't realize
you don't
I
realize
do.
it, yeah.
So I'm like, I want to know what they play in and see now. First of all, I promise you, I will never forget Aquafina. And she has like listening to her talking voice.
Yep, I see
Scuttle.
why she was chosen for Scuttle.
That was a good one.
I can see
That
why
was a
she was
good one.
chosen for Scuttle.
That's why I'm like, I wonder what else she played in because her voice gives me like she probably did voices in something else, and it was either hilarious or it just really fit for that. That role.
I want to go and watch the trailer just so I can hear Scuttle talk.
Scuttle was in the trailer.
He talks in the trailer.
Yeah.
Y'all let us know what y'all think about this video down in the comments below. You know what time it is. We on to the next one. We out. Peace.